What do you think of Jesse Mintor getting the Baltimore Ravens job?
I think that hire tells us Lamar Jackson is seen his last snaps in Baltimore. That's what it tells you.
What did Jesse Mintor's hire means you don't think Lamar will be the quarterback next year?
Yes, right, correct.
This
You heard it
coming
right.
season,
Yes,
2026 regular season.
I didn't stutter at all. I did not stutter one bit at all. I didn't misspeak. Nope, none of that.
So their September opener, you think they'll
Yep.
have a different quarterback?
Yep, I think they're going to trade him. Let me macro it all again for you. So here's a guy that you hired. And what is Jesse Mintor? What's he known for?
Defense.
Thank you. What they just fire?
The John Harbaugh, their special teams coach. Special teams was his specialty.
Defense. So if I'm going to rehire another defensive guy, and they were ranked, I believe, 29th in overall defense this year.
Yeah.
If I'm going to rehire a defensive guy to try to bring that juggernaut back that we're known for, the Ray Lewises and Ed Reeds and all those teams that got Super Bowl championships with even a Trent Dilfer, as pedestrian as he was, they still won. And then Flacco still won because of the defense, the O-line, the run game. Then why would you not hire an offensive coach if you're so confident in your quarterback? It is a scapegoat. This is an easy way out for me to hire a defensive coach and comes in and says, you know what, we got to move on in a different direction. So they're going to go get another quarterback because at the end of the day, this is a contract that we're talking about forward thinking here. Jason, you're not going to re-sign Lamar Jackson. You'd be committing coaching suicide if you're telling me, Jason, forget the hire and forget if Lamar Jackson starts next year. Is Lamar Jackson going to get another contract? Yes or no?
I don't know. The NFL's crazy, man. And
he can't. He's not
NFL's
going 80 yards no more.
Narrative-driven league. He's
he's
black
not going 80
quarterback,
no more.
Two-time MVP.
Remember though, he was only doing that when he went 80 and scored. Now he's going 30 and getting caught, and then he's not finishing seasons because of injury. And then he gets to the playoffs, and he's only won 3 playoff games, the same amount as C.J. Stroud, who you won out the league.
Hold for a second, because you caught me off guard. I wasn't prepared for this, and so I'm having to think this through in real time.
I gotta get ready. Okay?
Yeah, I know, and trust me, I'm ready. You're talking about the scenario you're talking about, where Jesse Mintor is going to take the Baltimore Ravens coaching job and will be a part of a process of getting rid of Lamar Jackson. That's real high risk for Jesse Mintor. He's in his early 40s. And if he takes any part of the blame and it doesn't go well if they get rid of Lamar Jackson, and then his narrative is, yeah, Jesse Mintor was part of getting rid of Lamar Jackson, and the Ravens over the next 2 years only averaged 7-8 wins, but they gave away Lamar and blah, blah, blah. And so this could turn into his only head coaching opportunity. If you're getting rid of Lamar, get rid of Lamar and then bring in your head coach. Let Steve Bisciotti, and why can't I think of the name of the general manager? Eric DaCosta. Yeah. Let them take all the blame for that. Don't put it on the head coach. Don't put any of it on the head coach.
You just heard that owner talk. You just heard him talk, and you saw what he did. And there's one of 32 billionaires, and they know what they do. This is their world, and we're living in it. They can do whatever the heck they want. Nobody's firing him. So at the end of the day, but you do have to deal with PR as owners, as you alluded to. So the PR for the owner to get rid of Lamar before the hire of the head coach would be significant in a place like Baltimore. So that's why you hire the coach. He's always the scapegoat. He's not a billionaire. He's a coach. We're just a pawn. So he hires the coach, Because it's already been agreed on, Jason. Do you think Minter took this job if they didn't have a conversation about the contracts and the roster and the cap space and what this roster is? I don't believe this Baltimore Ravens roster is even top 5 of available openings in the 8 opening jobs right now. They're not even top 5. I think they're an aging roster. They're old as hell on D. They're old as hell up front. They have the oldest running back with the most carries in the NFL, and you have a quarterback who's not sustainable in the playoffs. Harbaugh won a Super Bowl without Lamar, and he won 8 playoff games without Lamar. He's won 3 with them. The owner knows this. The owner said, all right, Jesse, I'm going to give you full autonomy. Come on in, and let's make decisions on future contracts. There's no way they agreed to, hey, so is Lamar my guy? Do I have to take this job if Lamar's our guy? Are we re-signing Lamar? You don't think that conversation was had between Bisciotti and him? Yes, it was.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think Jesse Minter was in Baltimore and doesn't see Lamar as an impediment to winning. I think he sees Lamar as, hey man, I can win over the next 2 or 3 years. I can maybe win instantly. I can maybe Sean McVay this situation. And
When
and
when 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 he was there, though, this was a young roster with a best O line and run game in football and the best D line and defense in football. This has since been removed since he's been gone. When he went to Michigan, then he Chargers, and he's been all over since the Ravens job. He is not. This isn't the Ravens with Mike McDonald, who's now in Seattle. This is not that team. Kyle Hamilton can't stay healthy. He's one of the better safeties in football. Can't stay healthy. Their D lineman, their best D lineman, didn't play a snap last year. You're going to have to re-add him to a roster that now was horrific last year, the worst pass coverage defense in football. They couldn't get a pass rush. They couldn't create sacks. And then you ran the football with an aging 32-year-old Derrick Henry more than any other running back in football, and now you expect him to carry the load again next year? And Lamar to stay upright and healthy with an O-line that has no real bookend tackles? There's no way. There's no way that Minter agreed to take this job with his current status quo. Because things have to change, Jason. You know this. Coaches are taking. Harbaugh's contract took so long to get done because guess what he did yesterday? Fired everybody. And he knew that Schoen and him didn't get along. And he knew, like I told you on your show a couple weeks ago, he knew that he wanted full autonomy or he wasn't signing a contract to go to the Giants as a head coach because he wants full autonomy. Let the football people do football things. Get all the people that know nothing about it out of the way. Harbaugh is pure at that, and that's what he wanted. Same with Mintor. You know Mintor's dad. You know where he comes from, the lineage. He comes from football. He wanted this thing to be out and upright, and Bisciotti's the same way. Bisciotti is a clear, transparent guy. Let's talk. Let's do this. There's no way they re-sign Lamar Jackson for another contract, Jason. He's not sustainable at this age right now. There's no way. And he's already shown you what he is in the playoffs. He's a guy I can scheme every year in the playoffs and beat. You cannot have that as a defensive guy and mentor and think that this guy is going to be our quarterback going forward. Now, maybe he is the quarterback come September, to your point. Maybe he's not gone this year, but he is not getting a new contract. And I truly do believe that he will be gone, though.
now you started out saying he's gone before September. Now you're saying maybe, but
No, I'm going to stick with it. I think he's gone, but I'm just saying he's not going to get another contract. So why would you keep him?
what do you think? What do you make? How does the Cliff Kingsbury interest? How does that affect your opinion on Lamar? They're trying to bring Kingsbury in as an OC.
Why? So Kingsbury had that run with Kyler Murray. You can
Yep.
say what you want, but they're very similar in play as far as how they actually operate. So, and I know for a fact Cliff and Kyle butted heads because that's a fact. Buddies of mine on that staff that are no longer there told me that. And Cliff's not dealing with another situation like that. That's why I even agree furthermore with myself that Lamar won't be there. I believe they're making moves at quarterback, and Cliff is not going to come in and run spread option. He's going to come in and run what he did with Jaden Daniels and Washington and get more West Coast and a little RPO and some things like that. They're not going to run double and triple option like they did with Greg Roman and 32 personnel and get into 3 heavy and sit there with Derrick Henry and him in the gun reading mesh read. There's no way that Cliff Kingsbury is coming in and doing that. That's why I even agree more that they're going to move on from Lamar. So, and I know Raiders rumors are heavy out there for Lamar, and a lot of trade access the Raiders have to get Lamar. I get that. That's out there. If you haven't heard that, that is a real thing that's out there floating around. I could actually see it, but at the same time, I don't believe Cliff and Lamar are some match made in heaven. Do you really think that? No way. Not after
No,
the
I
Cliff King.
can't say that I think there's some match made in heaven, but you know,
Jason, Mintor is a defensive guy that wants to play run control, get the ball. They want to do Mike McDonald in Seattle. Go get a big time wideout, get a quarterback that can move the sticks on third down and stay upright and sustainable. Cliff Kingsbury is the perfect coordinator to have that done as a head coach, defensive minded coach. Not run around Lamar Jackson and do what we did in Arizona when Cliff was there. They're going to do more of that, what Jaden Daniels did, tuck it and run on certain down and distances, but throw it on time on early down and distances. Lamar don't do that. So I think Cliff Kingsbury is the hire for Mintor for this perfect reason of why we get rid of Lamar. That's what I actually see. But we'll see. Maybe the money can't move. I don't know. I don't know the contract situation, but I know that he is up for a new one soon. And there's no way at his age that they're going to continue to re-sign him. Not at
JB,
the
I do
moment.
want to tell you this. I got one more question for you, but I do want to tell you this. My mother last week, you're one of her favorite guests, and she
Oh,
she
shut
was
up.
very upset. She was very upset with you last week. She didn't like the things you said about Mendoza. I'm sure she doesn't like the things you're saying today. But she asked me, was JB smoking a blunt? What was that thing he kept firing up? And I assured her it was a cigar, but she thought that you were so crazy, the stuff you said about Mendoza, that she
That I was
actually thought
high.
like, yeah, that you were
She
high.
thought I was high.
Yeah.
Mrs. Whitlock, I appreciate you. This is a cigar. Never smoked weed in my life or a cigarette. I'm pure. This is a loose leaf from the earth. Tobacco.